joining us on the Nikki Medoro Show. I'm Nikki Medoro. She's Kim McAllister. I'm a little raspy, just a tad bit raspy. She has a pina colada for cocktails and news.
One.
This is booze still. I'm keeping up with the cocktails, but this is a hot toddy.
Oh, that's perfect.
I don't know if
today.
you could see the steam. My husband just made it for me. What's in it, babe?
Brandy?
Bourbon?
Oh, bourbon.
I don't know. He's not listening to me. Bourbon, spicy tea, honey, and lemon.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. So
okay.
I need something. I finally got the cold and the flu and everything that's been going. I don't have the flu though. I keep checking my temperature. I just have that like annoying little cough. So in goes the lemon, and I'll be drinking and sipping this. But it's extremely hot.
What you get for hanging out every day with sick children.
Well, I got the flu shot, and I'm telling you, thank you, Gordon. Smash that like button, you guys. Thank you so much for reminding us. Hit the thumbs up button. And of course, I always remind you guys 100% crowdfunded. So if you can join our Patreon or donate, do the super chat, super stickers during the show, and PayPal. We absolutely love our PayPal donors. Please do that as well. The Nikki Medoro Show is how you find us. Thank you to everyone that supports us. We love you guys so much. But yeah, I got my flu shot. I haven't been I feel like I've been avoiding it. It's just been awesome, honestly. But yeah, I do work with gross kids. I've had so many kids come in with the fever. Like they just sit down and they're like, I don't feel good. 100.4, 100.6. I've had 101 one. I'm like, get out of my office. And you know, the craziest things, and we're going to get to everything. I'm just bitching and moaning right now. The craziest thing, these parents, I had one parent, I'm not even kidding. I had a parent march their child with a mask on that I had sent home the day before. This poor kid, I know this poor kid. And he has a mask on and the wettest, grossest cough. And the mom's like, he's still sick.
Then why is he here?
And I go home. And she's like, yeah, but he missed so much school. I'm like, poor baby. I'm like, I know these parents are kind of like, but he's missed so much. But I'm like, dude, you got to stay home. I don't know what to tell you, but I don't want him here. I don't even want him in front of me, let alone send him in a class with, 20, almost 30 kids. You know what I mean? So I feel for these parents, but yeah. Oh, Harry, thank you so much for the $5 donation. Hot toddy sounds like a great idea. It's finally raining in Arizona.
Hey.
Oh, thank goodness for that. I mean, everywhere's getting rain. Yeah. Praying for Los Angeles, of course, that's dealing with the mudslides from all the burn scars from the rain and everything like that. Phineas asking, Nikki, what is your title? Are you a substitute teacher or a teacher's aide? Oh, no, my friend. I'm the hot school nurse. No, I'm not actually a nurse. I'm the health clerk. I'm the health clerk. I actually work with the office. I work in the front office. And when the kids are sick, they come see me and I make the determination on whether or not they go home or not. I love it. Honestly, I love working with the kids. It is wild.
Did you make the mom take the kid home or no?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's crazy power that I have because if kids are like if you have too many absences, you get on this list of where unless you have like a fever or something,
sure.
Or if I give you the okay, it's excused. So that's the power that I have. It's like I can look at the kid and be like, okay, it's excused, because if there's too many unexcused, it triggers,
You're like the top sick mom at the school.
I'm the head mom. I'm like, if my kid was sitting there, would I want your kid sitting next to my kid?
Nope.
Yes or no?
Nope. And nope. Yeah, and so many of them are getting sick right now. Yeah. I had one of Julia's friends had a horrible case of RSV. Ooh. And she only stayed home for 2 days and then she was back at school. And I'm like, stay away from her.
That's contagious though, isn't it? I mean,
very much so.
Very contagious. How long do they have to stay home for that?
I don't know, but all these kids, they're taking all these hard classes. You miss, 1 or 2 days of chemistry and you've missed all the labs, and it's like horribly hard to make it all up. So they end up going to school sick because they don't want to, do poorly at school.
But that's high school. I mean, I'm talking middle school here, and I'm like, come on, people. Not that I'm saying middle school is not important. It sets the, this kind of the routine, right? Going to school, going to class, making sure you keep your grades up, but you're sick. Colleges aren't looking at your middle school transcripts. Keep your
No.
ass at home, please. Okay, let's just do that.
Mm-mm.
All right. I will be getting to what I find to be my favorite story. One of my favorite stories, which is of course what I teased with the thumbnail: Denmark buying California, and it's just because I absolutely love this tongue-in-cheek joke because as you guys, I'm sure, have already seen, Google has finally changed it to the Gulf of America and all this, and then that stupid asinine bill that we're going to change the name of Greenland to red, white, and blue land or some sort of nonsense. I mean, it's so freaking stupid that it's literally embarrassing. So when I saw the joke petition to for Denmark to buy California, I was like, good. You know what I mean? If we're literally going to go down this asinine road, sure. You know what? Go ahead. So this petition's organizer, Javier Dutoit, I don't know if I'm saying that right. Probably not. He got the idea last month while vacationing in the Philippines because he overheard an American tourist loudly discussing Trump's Greenland pitch. He said that American didn't seem to grasp how unhinged and absurd it was for any country's president, especially in a stable democracy that the USA claims to be, to offer or threaten to take over another sovereign country's territory. Apparently this guy is not Danish. He's Swiss French. And he consulted a multinational group of friends who are helping him. The Trump Greenland issue is by far, obviously, the biggest political issue in the country at the moment. I even saw some people, though, pardon me, like in Greenland with Make America Great Again hats. I mean, there was like 7 of them, so I'm sure they just found 7 people in Greenland and slapped some hats on them. But it's funny until it happens. It's funny until Trump actually tries to do it, puts military boots on the ground. And again, Greenland is so important environmentally that we do not want a Trump having any way, shape, or form control over that piece of land at all. And I'm serious about that. Like, I don't want the United States to have control over Greenland because we'd F it up. So, I don't know, but I loved it. I was like,
Can you imagine if the state of California was part of Denmark? Who would pay for healthcare or disasters in Alabama and Arkansas?
oh, I know.
How would
right?
they get by? No, they wouldn't get by at all. The financial picture of the United States would be drastically diminished.
Yeah, I know.
Without our taxes. Nope.
Cheryl says if you go to Google in the Gulf of America or whatever, and then go up to the 3 dots, yeah, you can report basically to Google that it's incorrect. Did you also hear the news that the press secretary, Levitt or whatever her name is, she's getting mad. She got mad at an AP reporter because they were reporting it still as the Gulf of Mexico. And here's the thing, like they're still reporting it because it's accurate. You know what I mean? In other countries, they're calling it the Gulf of Mexico still, and it's the AP standards or whatever.
Sure.
And it's stupid. I'm just... And I understand, we talked about this, last show or the show before about Obama and the Denali and all that sort of the Mount Denali and stuff like that. And we've changed the names of mountains or whatever, right? I understand that argument, but the Gulf of Mexico, somebody was also making, I think it was our friend Noe Marie. Did you see Noe Marie's comment?
What'd
She's
she
like,
say?
she something, it was like a meme. She's like, it was born the Gulf of Mexico at birth or something like that. You know what I mean? Like trying to make kind of a transgender joke about the whole thing, which I found quite amusing. Thank you, Louise, for the $5 donation. Nikki,
Czarina of student body health.
there you go. You are way more qualified than RFK Jr. Oh, I know, to be the Secretary of Health. Let's promote you ASAP. Yes, that happened today.
I would so much rather have you be in charge of health in America.
Oh my God.
Do you know how much better you would do in that role? I mean, and you have minimal health training.
No skill whatsoever.
I would prefer you over anyone else. You want to know why? Because you would actually listen to scientists and facts, and you're great at discerning fact from fiction. This would be fantastic. Nikki Maduro for health secretary.
He puts people in positions that are against the positions in which they hold, like the EPA director, right? The EPA director just canceled a bunch of money. I want to find this story because I want to get it right. He for all of these Biden's $20 billion, the guy canceled $20 billion in green grants. They're asking for all of the money back. Administrator Lee Zeldin said the EPA would revoke contracts for the still emerging Green Bank that is set to fund tens of thousands of projects to fight climate change and promote environmental justice. It was part of the Inflation Reduction Act. Two initiatives worth $14 billion and $6 billion respectively are intended to offer competitive grants to nonprofits, community development banks, and other groups for projects that are focused on disadvantaged communities. Climate change is real, people. And that's the problem with this administration, is they're putting people in place that don't believe in it, right? Like RFK Jr. Okay, I'm going to say this because I want to be fair. Like, do I believe that we should get additives and, Red 40 and all there? Of course, I want to make our food and water healthy, all that. But I don't want somebody that's still fighting things that we've settled science, right? I don't want somebody in that. I don't want somebody that worms in their brain or, I don't want this crazy dude
Conspiracy
in charge. Yes, I don't want him in that position. And so that's ridiculous. I'm sorry.
Teacher Lori says if RFK Jr. goes after pharmaceutical companies and food additives first, then he'll be popular with both sides. Absolutely. Yeah, real popular until all of a sudden you can't get vaccines for your children. Right. And what we have is the situation in Samoa and or Texas with an undervaccinated population where kids start to die.
Yeah, exactly.
That's going to be fantastic. Can't wait for that.
It's been 3 weeks, people. It's and I just, the thing is they're making these cuts and they're putting people in these positions. And I don't really feel there's any thought whatsoever going into it. Right. And I've said this before. It's just as if they're just cutting everything and Congress is nowhere to be found. It's starting. I think there is pushback. Obviously, the Democrats are beginning. I think there's definitely some progressives like Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, AOC, that have been there from the very beginning shouting from the rooftops. I think the others, the moderates, are starting to freaking stop licking their wounds, right, and get into the game. But I even think there are some Republicans that are hearing from their constituents, some of whom are federal workers, and being like, this isn't what I voted for. I'm losing my job. This isn't what I voted for. Medicaid is going to be going away. What are you talking about? Right?
What will it take to shake people's confidence in Trump?
When it happens to them, that's all unless it happens to them, they don't give a shit if it happens to Joe Blow across the street. That's what I honestly believe. Until it happens to them, unless it's their job, their bank account, them. I don't even think if it happens to a family member. I really don't. I think until it literally happens to them and their household, they don't give a shit.
I see people talking about the threat to democracy. And I've read Republican MAGA, not Republican, but MAGA comments saying, we're going to lose our democracy. Good. Because at least then, all the migrants or the immigrants will be gone and the common sense will be back. It's like you're willing to trade our country for your hate. That's what it feels like.
Crazy. And then, and they don't even realize what they're giving up, because when it does happen to you and you want someone to pay attention, the Congress won't be there anymore. Because they've abdicated everything to now a dictator. Because what is happening is Congress is giving up all of its power. Slowly but surely it's happening. And it's the checks to keep things balanced in, the system that we've set up in our government needs to start working. And it's not. There was this article, and I want to read this to you guys. You know that old saying, don't ask for permission, ask for forgiveness, or pay.
Yeah.
And instead of forgiveness, it's pay a fine. That's what Musk and Trump are doing. And it's for this simple reason. There was this New York Times article, and it was an opinion. And they were kind of quoting from an interview between this gentleman, Ezra Klein, and that, tech queen, Kara Swisher. Okay. And it basically, they were talking about this breaking of rules. And this is what Musk and Trump, I think, understands. It's that they can commit the crime. They can violate the rules because what they know is how slowly the courts work. And while it moves through the judicial system, they're going to break the rule.
Well,
and so what they want to happen will happen. And so they've done it already. Look at Steve Bannon, right? Like, so Steve Bannon pleaded guilty in the border wall funding case. That's all the way from Trump's first time being president. He doesn't give a shit. Who cares? He's not even serving any time for that.
Well, it doesn't even matter how slowly the courts move because he has been granted presidential immunity for anything having to do with the office of the president. So why would you pay attention to what the judges want you to do? Why would you pay attention to anything when you have carte blanche to steamroll over everyone and do exactly what you want?
But I'm not even talking about an actual crime, Kim. What I'm talking about is the way that he's eliminating agencies without congressional approval.
It's all illegal.
It's all illegal. But unless Congress does something now, he's eliminated these jobs. He's eliminated these people. The consequence of it before Congress steps in, it's already happened. We're going to see the consequences. People are losing their jobs.
Yep.
They're not going to pay their bills. They're going to be on the unemployment line. I mean, what? Okay, there was an article, I think today in SF Gate. Yosemite is in crisis.
I saw.
Planning for the summer is happening now, but they don't have the staff. This summer is going to be an S show because there's no people to hire. They're cutting people's jobs. We're going to see the consequence of what's happening now. And then guess who's going to look at the mismanagement of our national parks and say, look, California can't run their national parks, and blame us as if we did this to ourselves when it's Donald Trump and Elon Musk cutting indiscriminately and not thinking about the fact that we need these people. We need, and they don't even know what these agencies do. You think, okay, so the Doge site, okay, the Department of Government Efficiency, they've made an update, okay, apparently. And of course, you can get all of these updates on X, which I think is a total conflict of interest that they're leading people from a government site to a social media platform that is owned by Elon Musk. But, again, no consequences for this. So let me just say this. So, again, Lee Zeldin says he's canceled that $50 million environmental justice grant to the Climate Justice Alliance. Fine. Okay. The U.S. Department of Education, $4.6 million contract to coordinate Zoom and in-person meetings. Okay. If you cancel those, what is the cost benefit savings of not having those? Right. Okay. $30 million contract to write a report that showed prior reports were not utilized in schools. Another one, let's see. This is X. Okay. The EPA will not be renewing our membership with Politico. That's the whole Politico thing. They said, I've clawed back the full payment that FEMA deep state activists. Oh, this is from Kristi Noem. Deep state activists unilaterally gave New York City migrant hotels. Again, working with FEMA when the next disaster happens. What are we going to do with the money there?
Weren't they were putting them in multi-use rooms at schools, and parents were freaking out. And so then they finally got them housed at these hotels. So where are you going to put people? What are you going to do? What
is the consequence of not doing that? Do you think that they did any research into that? And again, I understand, there's the study into studies, if studies work. I know that there's always that thing of like, And I understand that that's wasteful. I get it. And I believe that we do waste so much money. I have no problem with that. But I do also think they're doing it so, again, quickly and without research into the consequences. They said a federal employee retirements are processed using paper by hand in this mine in Pennsylvania. 700 plus mine workers operate 230 feet underground to process 10,000 applications per month that are stored in manila envelopes and cardboard boxes. It goes on to say that the retirement process takes multiple months. They're saying, and so I guess they're cutting this or they're getting rid of this. Okay, so what's going to happen to all of those workers? Again, it doesn't make any sense. They said the Department of Education terminated 89 contracts worth $881 million. Who are those people? What did they do? I doubt in 3 weeks you did all the research necessary to figure that out. That's what I'm talking about. Like, all of these things don't make any sense. And I highly, highly doubt they did any research. I just don't think they did any research whatsoever. So I'm scared. I'm honestly really, really scared on what 3 weeks from now or 2 months from now is going to look like. I just am.
Teacher Lori says, honestly, there's a lot of waste programs and wasteful programs in schools. Don't know who pays. Lots of PD money could be better spent. Forensic accounting needed.
And I have no problem with that.
That's the thing. Go look
forensic accounting. I don't think they did forensic accounting.
Do an audit and let's find out what we need to cut and what's worth saving. But you don't come in with a meat axe and just start swinging it.
Or at least show us the receipts like that. The press secretary, she's like, I have the receipts. I want to see them as the public, right? I want to go and actually see what programs, why is it wasteful, right? Show me the evidence that you found on why it's wasteful. They're acting like they're 100% transparent. You're just saying it's wasteful. And then there was a presser where they're saying this is fraud. And then she had to actually admit that it wasn't fraud. It just went against Donald Trump's policies. So there's a difference there. Like, oh, so you're saying it's a DEI program, for instance. I'm using that as an example. So now they're saying that's fraud. It doesn't necessarily mean that it wasn't accomplishing something that people might like. You're just saying it's fraud because you don't like it. So it just really doesn't make unilateral or, universal, I should say, universal sense. There's waste, there's universal waste, and then there's political waste. And I think that we should make a difference between that. I think we should go after universal waste, right? Mm-hmm. Duplicate programs, someone getting $1 million and they're literally not doing something, redundancies, things like that. Can we do that first before we go after these political programs just because you want to get rid of them? I think that that's the fairest way of doing it, honestly.
So more along the same lines of Trump not liking something, so he goes after it. Mm-hmm. You had mentioned the RFK vote, and it was a surprise to some people maybe that Senator Mitch McConnell was the one Republican who did not vote in support of RFK Jr. And that's because when he was a kid, he had polio. And he is absolutely an advocate for the vaccine schedule and for keeping people healthy. And so because he went through that himself, as you say, when it happens to you, right? Then you really...
Exactly.
He says, I can't in good conscience vote for RFK Jr.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
Trump says he questions whether he has polio or not. He probably didn't even have polio when he was a kid, said Trump. He's not voting against Bobby. He's voting against me. He is a very bitter guy. He said, when asked whether about McConnell's polio, he said, I don't know anything about. He had polio. He said, I have no idea if he had polio. All I can tell you is he shouldn't have been a leader. He voted against Bobby. He's voting against almost everything now. So you don't get in line, he won't respect you. Like, you can't look at someone and go, you know what? I realize you didn't vote my way, but I also realize you had this experience. So I get where we have a parting of the minds on this, but I'm looking at a bigger picture and it doesn't involve your childhood illness. Like, it wouldn't make sense to me, but whatever, agree to disagree. Can't do it. You go against Trump, you better watch out.
You must be a liar. It must, any story that you tell. It's so, he literally plays himself to the T. Like, you know exactly how he's going to respond now, like a child, literally like a
Yep.
child. David said, we're going back to the Gilded Age, the days of no unions, child labor, no minimum wage, robber barons, and spoil system. The reason why I wanted to read that is I just also read this interesting article today. The largest union for federal employees says it's seeing unusual growth amid Trump's attacks on the government workforce. American Federation of Government Employees, or AFGE, said the union has added more than 8,200 members through the
Yep.
first third of February, after adding nearly 8,000 in January. Normal times, a typical month might see a few hundred. So obviously, people are like, who's going to protect me? Yeah.
Right. It's the unions. I have a family member who was already a member of the Federal Employees Union.
Right.
And when the letter came out to offer them this deferred resignation program, they were all looking around at each other saying, what do we do? And
Right.
it wasn't only until the union came forward and had
Mhm.
these calls and meetings and said, don't take the offer.
Right.
Here's all the reasons why, and
Exactly.
really kind of started to rally the federal workers. That's when it's according to my family member, that's when they seemed to be um, able to really figure out what was happening, what they should do, and develop a plan together. So
Yeah.
that's very valuable. I can see why they've had increased membership.
I mean, it just, to me, it seems like we just need, I mean, speaking of unions, we just need Congress to do their jobs. There was one, I want to get the name of the congressman right. And it pissed me off so badly. The amount of work and money that goes into running for office, right? It's like they put all this time and money and in running for office, you would think that they would do their jobs, but they're not. It's as if they're just sitting there and doing whatever. Oh, here it is, doing whatever Trump wants. This Republican congressman, Jack Bergman of Michigan, okay? He's getting all sorts of people calling his office saying, why are you falling in line behind Trump? Even though obviously he's challenging congressional authority. And this is what he says: I'm not a lawyer, I'm a pilot. So if you want to talk to me about aviation, I'll talk to you about that. But when it gets into the legal side of things, let's let the lawyers debate that. You're a congressman. You're a congressman. That's also your job. Your hobby is a pilot. Like, and this is what pisses me off. It's like they're abdicating their responsibility. Oh, I'm just a pilot. That's what I'm an expert at. No, mofo. Like, you are supposed to represent
Right.
your district. You are supposed to know why you're in Washington, D.C. And you're supposed to do your job. You're supposed to be a check on the president. You are not supposed to just say yes, sir, to everything that he says. And what you are supposed to do is be like, okay, I might agree with you, Mr. President, but we're going to have to see, what you want to do. It's going to have to go through our committees. It's going to have to go through the process set up by our founding fathers because, Mr. President, you took an oath and we have a job to do. Why the hell not? Yes, Vicky, it is kind of like McCarthyism, isn't it? It's they're so afraid, even though they have the numbers.
Yeah.
You have the numbers. If you
And
support Trump so much, just, you just let it go through the process. What are you so scared of?
it's interesting though, because this is more than blackballing people. I guess you could make the correlation when Trump says, I'll get you primaried, I'm coming for your career and your livelihood, all of those things, that's similar. But the not following the Constitution and the American system of government that we
Right.
have and we value, the rule of law, all of these things, I think that's way more draconian and serious than McCarthyism. Though I had the discussion with my husband the other day about whether if we survive McCarthyism, that America will survive this Trump 2.0. And I don't think we came to a conclusion on that.
Well, I was listening to again, that Professor Neil guy that I follow on social media, and he did make me kind of feel better about kind of the history of anytime there's progress made, there's
Yeah.
always this counterbalance, right? And it always seems to happen. After Jim Crow, after
Mhm.
every sort of big progress, there's always this counter. Kind of the 2 steps forward, 3 steps back, whatever.
To this degree, though, because this is pretty severe.
Well, but what he ended saying was, this is also the time where you can't let the foot off the gas. And this brings me to
Yeah.
share. I wanted to put, not Teacher Lori's. No, sorry, Teacher Lori. I wanted to say Cheryl's. Can we not actually talk about what we can do personally? Can we go somewhere and stand safely, or can we send something? Because I love that we talk, but it gets us nowhere. And that's what he was saying, is like, we have to keep the foot on the gas, right? Like, we have to actually do something, right? So there's people that are in Washington, D.C. They're standing on the steps of Washington. They're protesting. They're calling constantly. There are Republican lawmakers saying, my phone has not stopped ringing. It's not stopped ringing about Elon Musk. What is he doing? Is he getting my personal information? They're trying to tamp down, all these fears, but it hasn't stopped. And that's what we need to do, right? We need to continue to put the pressure on our Congress people. Now, obviously, I think for us, we're preaching to the choir, right? Like, us calling our Congress people. Although I would say, calling Daryl Issa, calling,
Yep.
Republicans, we have a right to do that and be like, yo, what are you doing?
Mhm.
You need to do your job. I don't care if you agree with Donald Trump. You still need to follow your role of Congress. And it should be going through you. You should just not be letting him cut federal agencies. You should not let him cut Medicare and do all of these things that he's doing. You
Yep.
should do your job. And I think that's a fair thing to do, and make them.
And
The courts, I will say, though, have done some things, though. Go ahead.
Yeah, they're trying to stand up. You said a couple minutes ago that talking about it doesn't do anything, that we need to find solutions. But I think sometimes talking about it can not only be cathartic in some
Oh,
ways,
yes, absolutely.
also, you know, it's so much easier right now for a lot of us to look away.
Yes.
So to have a place to talk with people who are smart, who get it, who aren't just, sucking in Fox News 24/7, I think it's valuable for us to all come together and have these discussions to find out what's going on, to hear each other's thoughts on things. I don't think it's just spinning our wheels. I think we
No.
need this outlet. I think we need platforms
Yes.
like this to not only discuss together, but also to put the truth out there in the world. And we're not all, this is, if people from other countries are watching us, all Americans are not laying down and saying, okay, no, Americans are pissed off too. Half
Yeah.
of this country knows exactly what's up.
Yeah.
So I think it's valuable to get the word out there and to keep the conversation going.
Louise, thank you for the $5 donation again. Hellspawn Barbius, press secretary. Cruella DeVille, director of national intelligence. Red, white, and blue land. Elect a clown, expect a circus. I mean,
100%. Oh, Louise, that's
again,
awesome. Yeah.
this is the thing. I think that obviously, and thank you, Louise, again for the $5 donation. Politics showing with the choices. I really don't, obviously, agree with choices that are
Yeah.
made for putting people in these positions. And like I mentioned before, putting people in positions that are against the agencies in which they run is just mind blowing to me. Because I just don't trust it, right? If you're going to have an environmental protection agency, put somebody in there that wants to protect the environment. I have no problem getting rid of government waste, but you have to do it the right way.
Right.
I don't want to abdicate the responsibility of Congress. Just go through Congress. And
Which, by the
if you
way,
don't want to,
has
there's
a
a reason for
Republican
that.
majority. So there
Huh?
there should be no problem going through Congress, right?
Exactly. That's all I want. That is all I've been saying. I've been getting
Mhm.
in these freaking Facebook, tiffs with people. And every single time I calmly, no name calling, say, what is the problem of just going through the process our founding fathers
Right.
set up, going through Congress to get rid of waste? Because it's Congress that controls the purse strings, because
Mhm.
presidents cannot be trusted, obviously, for obvious reasons. They no longer respond to me anymore. Now they go back to everybody that's name calling, right? I wonder why. Because they know it's not happening the right way. It's just dumb. It's just dumb.
So, Deidre brings this point up. And I read a little bit about this and I find it fascinating. She says everyone needs to pay attention to the SAVE Act. They're trying to pass this. If you don't have a passport or if your birth certificate doesn't match your driver's license, like maybe you were born as Kim McAllister, but now you have a different married name, right? Then you will be ineligible to vote if your birth certificate doesn't match your passport.
Okay.
I don't know. God, in this world, nothing seems so far-fetched that it can't happen. I would like to think that that would be outrageous. But Deidre says, no, married women without a passport won't be able to vote if the SAVE Act passes. So if you don't have a passport, claiming that you are indeed the same person that you registered to vote under with your legal name, then you have to go use your birth certificate, which doesn't match your new legal name, your married name, and then you wouldn't be able to vote. It seems...
I don't know about that.
Over the line. Well,
I don't know about that. I mean, because I could present my marriage certificate with my birth certificate to show my change of legal name to get a passport.
Or would they know that? What if that's not really the same person?
No, I don't think.
I don't know. It seems far-fetched to me too, but there are a lot of people who are worried about that.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's a little, let's just take a deep breath there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because then that's Handmaid's Tale shit. You know what I mean? Like, police, give me a break over here. I have to get my husband's permission to leave the country and escape to Canada. Please.
But Deidre says marriage certificates don't count for voting as far as a document. But Heather writes, yeah, it sounds messed up, but in line with absolute Twilight Zone effery that we're seeing, right? Like, to me, it sounds crazy. Well, then how young women would vote, but married women wouldn't be able to vote. And that makes no sense. And would they actually do that? And that, that's part of their base. They would want their base to vote, right? But they're doing stuff that makes no sense to me. I don't know.
I don't know about any of that. We are going to have to keep an eye on that, women. I mean, but again, it's just all of these things that don't make any sense whatsoever. It just doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
Tom Hartman stated the SAFE Act is true. Birth certificates have to match. I have to look this crap up now. Now you guys all have me all freaking, what's it called? The SAFE Act?
The SAVE Act. S-A-V-E. Yeah.
Act.
I mean, I think it's half thought through. They would have to change it to make sure that, that wouldn't happen. But they don't really care.
Chip friggin' Roy that does it.
They don't really care
the one
about
that's
women
called
anyway,
out, Republicans time and again too, but that surprises me.
You would think that if that was really the case, if what we just talked about was really going to happen, that women, it wouldn't matter whether you were, what color you were, what party you subscribed to, whatever, that we would all stand up and say, wait a minute, you just took away my voice and my vote. That's un-American. But I have a feeling that the same women who thought it was cool if Republicans took away their rights over their own bodies would be like, oh yeah, I don't need to vote. My husband usually fills out my ballot for me anyway.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm assuming if it goes through, they'll have to add something that would change that because that doesn't make any freaking sense. Because I think that the critics are using this marriage certificate not matching up with the birth certificate as a reason why not to have this pass, as an unintended consequence of it. So yeah, if it did pass, that would definitely have to change. That makes absolutely no sense whatsoever.
Crazy though. This country is going off the deep end.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, let's go to Denmark. We're going to Denmark.
Denmark, are you going to buy California, please? Please take us. We want healthcare. And that's the thing. It's like, it's not as if our country has ever been run perfectly. And I'm not saying it has. Mm-hmm. We have tons of problems. And again, going back to the Doge, whatever, I'm not saying there's not a ton of government waste. Duh, there is. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying the way that they're doing it, one, is unconstitutional. You cannot do it the way you're doing it. That's all. That is actually the only thing I'm saying. It is literally the only thing I'm saying. You can't do it this way. It is unconstitutional. These are agencies that were created by Congress, and they can only be disbanded by Congress. Elon Musk was never elected to his position. He does not have the authority, and neither, by the way, does the president, to eliminate agencies without congressional approval. It is Congress that controls the purse strings. And so if you want to get rid of these agencies, like eliminate agencies, you have to do it through Congress. And if you don't want to, there's a reason for that. Because you know that it's wrong. So again, I just wish Congress would do its job and flex its muscle. They're ignoring the courts and the Constitution. And again, 3 weeks after taking the oath to uphold the Constitution. How can we stop them? Exactly. And that goes back to what I was saying. They know that the courts move slowly. Now, I will say this. The firing, the judge let him go continue doing the whole firing thing. Eliminating jobs, I guess, is okay. But eliminating entire agencies, not okay. So I guess you can fire enough people where the agency becomes moot, I guess. I mean, if you fire enough people, it just doesn't matter anymore. You know, and the agencies, like the consumer, the CF, the consumer financial consumer, I'm going to get it wrong. Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. That's what it was. I kept wanting to say financial. They're getting rid of literally something that protects the consumer. Why would they want to do that? Right? Now, again, another government agency that probably has some sort of waste that you could. But again, this is something that protects us, from fraud, all sorts of things. We have to eliminate the entire agency? Seriously? Because you hate Elizabeth Warren? You know that's why. They hate Elizabeth Warren. She created the fucking agency. Yeah. And so they're like, screw it. We're getting rid of it. That's why.
This is an agency that's why it oversees the financial products and services that we all use every single day.
And make sure that, you're not getting screwed by them.
Checking accounts, home loans, right? And they're targeting that. Why? They don't care about us. They care about one thing, business. Businesses and people that are making money hand over fist at the expense of everyone else. And we know what, Nikki? You warned people. I warned people. Mark warned people. We all warned that the billionaires are out for the billionaires. And if the getting rid of the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau isn't a sign of that, a big red glowing sign, I don't know what is.
Yeah. I just feel like and then also reducing the number of IRS agents going after tax cheats. Why would you want to reduce the number of IRS agents going after tax cheats? Why would that be? Because you probably know a ton of tax cheats. And it's the big tax cheats. It's not the little ones, that might, have, I didn't donate $500 to charity. It's the big tax cheats they were going after. And I wonder who knows those people. Give me a freaking break.
Jennifer says if they can't win under the old system, well, then they'll just create a new system that levels their playing field.
I don't understand why people don't see it. Like,
yeah, Karen, they don't want financial protection, she writes. They never did. They want banks to make lots of money off of people.
I don't know why you think that the rich people are going to take care of you. Why do you think the rich people are going to take care of you?
Daddy's home, Nikki. Come on.
Why do you show me a time in history? Please.
That daddy stepped in and was like, sure, let's give back to the people.
Show me a time in history where it's actually worked out.
The creating of the Social Security program, that was fantastic. The creating of Medicare to take care of our seniors, thumbs up. The Youth Conservation Corps, creating jobs for people and building things all over America, arenas, outside stadiums, roads, bridges, etc. All of those things back then. You want to talk golden age? That was the right way to do stuff.
They just bought it. Elon Musk bought the presidency.
Yes.
He bought you saw the video of supposedly his kid said, "You're not the president." Did you see that video?
He said,
Anybody?
he said, "You're not the effing president. Go
If anybody
away.
hasn't seen it, I'll play it for you. I have the clip
Not the
here.
president." And he said something else.
He's all,
You
shut your fucking mouth.
shut your fucking mouth. Yeah. This, what is he, 2 or 3 or 4?
And he put a booger on this desk too, which is gross as shit.
On the Resolute desk.
But
It's
you
not
know,
just
okay.
any desk. It's
Okay, so here's the video. Now, I'm going to say this. I don't fully hear it. People insist that he says, "You're not the president.
Go away.
Go away," or something like that. I'm going to play it for you guys. Whatever. If you guys hear it, okay. I don't particularly hear it, but you guys, I'm going to play it for you. You guys can tell me if you hear it. I don't. I'm always 100% with you guys. But if you want to hear it, all right. Apparently that's what he says right here. Here you go.
To restore democracy. This may seem like, well, aren't we in a democracy? To restore democracy.
So he says, "You're not the president. You have to go away." Well, I'll play it one more time. Here, let me make it bigger.
To restore democracy. This may seem like,
I don't know.
I hear it.
You hear it?
I hear it.
Okay.
I absolutely hear it. And it's hard to hear the first time, but when you know what he's saying and then you can pick out certain words.
It's one of those things where, like, if you tell somebody what they're saying, then you'll just put the words in the kids.
No, because then you can see his mouth moving and you can hear those. I heard "president, go away." And so then when you see
I heard that part, you have to go away. And that's still funny.
And what about that?
I saw the booger.
Shut your effing mouth.
But you know that this is what you mean, even if he said that and "shut your effing mouth." I mean, those are words that come out of Elon Musk's mouth. I mean,
probably directed at the son, right? Because they repeat what they hear. So
exactly. And he's what, 4 or something like that?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Isn't that prime parenting age?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, like he's parenting that kid. I mean, he's just dragging that kid to everything.
Parroting, where they hear and repeat.
Parroting, yes.
Parroting, yeah.
I don't know. I mean, again, Grimes, the mom, is really unhappy that Elon's bringing that kid everywhere. So,
well, they're supposed to be the party of family, and aren't we all supposed to all of a sudden start breeding and having a million kids because they want us to be pregnant and they want us to have families, and this is the party of the family? Didn't look like Trump was too excited to have that little kid in the Oval.
Yeah, well. And again, and then Lawrence O'Donnell did this whole like spiel about how the fact that Elon Musk was wearing a t-shirt and a hat in the Oval Office was such disrespect to Trump, and he was doing the billionaire thing, even though obviously he owns a suit and blah, blah, blah. Elon Musk doesn't give a shit about Donald Trump.
No.
He doesn't. He doesn't care. He bought the presidency.
It could be
he can't
anybody.
be president, so he bought it. I mean,
whoever it is, he'll buy it.
Yeah.
Right. So, and we know that because he's trying to do it in the UK. He's trying to do it in Germany. He's got his fingers in the politics around the world. So this is not a one and done for him.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't, and it doesn't matter. And then where is JD Vance? You know what I mean? Like,
Elon does not have a wife. The mother of that child has been in some type of horrible dispute with him because he's trying to keep things from her. She's some singer, right? I forget her name.
Grimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, he's not married. God, can you imagine being married to him? Ugh. I mean, he just goes everywhere. So, he's an odd duck, an acquired taste. He's a wart on Trump's ass. He's not going to leave Trump's side because he's president. Elon Musk is, for all intents and purposes, president. So
I wonder if this is the first time Trump has ever had a boss.
I don't know.
You know, someone who you're beholden to. Well, Putin probably too.
Well, maybe, yeah.
So
but Musk bought it. Well, there's another thing that Donald Trump did, and this is actually kind of a side discussion I wanted to have. He has ordered to scrap the penny. You heard about that, right?
I did.
Now, apparently, because if we scrap the penny, it will cost more to make like more nickels and everything else, right? So here's my question. Is it time to just give up change? Like, would you rather just pay for things in whole dollars? Like, I'm not saying give up cash because I still like cash, but is it time to just be like, it's $1 It's $2. It's $3. Instead of having things like it's $3.05, it's $3.10.
I think that makes a big difference to a lot of people's bottom line. I don't think we can just do that. And while I agree with the getting rid of the penny, because I read it costs nearly 3 cents for every penny that we make. It
Yeah.
seems like there was probably a better way to go about it, and I don't think they thought it through. There should be regulations about how it works then. If you go into a store and you're due 9 cents change, then is it you giving up the 4 cents, or is it the store giving up the 4 cents?
Right.
Who makes out in the end on that one? There should have been better thought process about how we are going to do this and what it means to the
Well, I
economy.
mean, how long will it
'Cause
take to get rid of all of the pennies in the world,
you and
right?
I are talking about, a couple pennies here or there won't matter, but in the grand scheme of things, it makes a huge difference.
I mean, part of me wonders though, like how often do you pay with money? Honestly, do you pay with actual money?
I pay with money when I have to. So if I'm buying something from school, if I'm sending money for a class gift and they
Right.
don't do PayPal or Venmo, then I'll send
Right.
cash. Um, Sometimes whatever reason the kids need money for school, or
Yeah.
if, I have to use cash. But I found myself the other day in need of a cash for a tip, and I didn't have any cash in my wallet. My car, I left my lights on. I'd gone to a band competition in Sacramento, and
Mhm.
it was a dark morning when we left, and when I turned my lights off, I didn't turn them all the way off, and so the
Oh
parking lamp
no.
part remained on. So I came back to my car and it was dead. Click, 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 click,
Oh
click, click, click. And I
no.
had to call a man to come out and give me a jump start. And you're supposed to tip your tow truck driver.
Yes.
And I
You
didn't
had
have any cash to
nothing.
do it, so I had to get his PayPal address and PayPal him
Well,
later
there you
on,
go.
whatever. Yeah, so but there are things, I think, tips, when you're using a valet service or
Yep.
whatever, that I think cash helps. As a matter of fact, didn't I hear that when you leave a tip at a restaurant, if you leave them cash, it's better for them than if you
Yes, because
attach it to your debit card or whatever?
yeah, because then they don't really
Yeah,
have to report it
yeah,
necessarily.
so in some cases, cash is king.
Cash is king.
Mhm.
I had to use cash yesterday because I went with my coworkers to a drag bingo thing,
How
and
fun.
you can't use Venmo when the drag dancers are going around. You can't be putting Venmos in their thing.
Did
So,
you put cash dollar
well,
bills
yeah,
in
because
the
they dance around for you. All the drag dancers are dancing around, and so
You're
you
so
got to put the
funny.
dollar bills. And so, oh yeah, so there's definitely parts where you're gonna need those dollar bills. So, Tammy says, go into the fancy dance club. See, exactly, Tammy. So, yeah,
Your
I
need for
like to
cash is
tip
a
in
lot
cash.
better than my need for cash. I wanna be you.
Also, you need change for parking meters, although some of them
Yep.
take, if you don't want to use your credit card, which I really don't like
Mhm.
putting my credit card in those machines. Yes, Sandy at the Cedar Room. Were you there? I was there last night. Yes, I was there. That was exactly where I was last night. It was a lot of fun. We had a great old time. But yeah, so I don't mind getting rid of change though, but I do hear what you're saying. I was kind
Yeah.
of thinking sometimes when I go into a store, I just wish things were just $1, $2, $3. But I do. I agree with you. They probably would round up, but then I would also make my decision on what I buy. If you round it up too high, if it's $1 or $2, that
Mhm.
might make my deciding factor on whether or not I buy that cup of noodles or whatever the hell I was right about to buy. Yeah, how
Yeah.
do I think what's going to happen if we ever did just go all digital, which I don't think would necessarily happen too soon because people don't have cell phones, don't have the technology yet. It's just going to be an app where you just go dink. It's like a tap thing. They'll just make it easier and easier for you to do digital money. But then I just feel like, what is money then? Right? It's just
The
dots
idea, the
and
concept of
yeah, the
money.
concept of money. It just
Mhm.
becomes this thing, you know what I mean? And it just becomes, I don't know, not real.
This happened to me once too, Karen. She said my car died a while ago. After the AAA guy finished, he was looking at me oddly by not realizing I should tip him. I didn't know. I didn't know either.
I didn't know either. Honestly, I would not have thought about it.
It
Honestly.
happened to me several years ago, and I was like, oh, and then I felt so bad. She said I had no cash anyway. He asked me to leave a good feedback for him instead.
I did that. I left an amazing, the last time I had a guy change my tire when I was going to San Francisco, it was raining. I know how to change my tire, but I'm sure as shit not doing it in the rain. And so they came out. I just had a great review because I had no money on me.
Yeah.
I don't carry cash that often on me. Yeah. So cards with QR codes at hotels. It's way easier because again, you're just like, I don't have money. And it's true. You're not being, you're not being a liar. Cause sometimes, you're walking out of a place like, I don't have cash. I'm like, you have cash.
Sandy says, I like cash because I like the fact that it's untraceable. I don't like the fact that people can track my purchases when I use a card.
That's very, very true. That's very, very true. All right. Well, let's move on. I didn't talk about the Super Bowl at all. It was a very, some people were like, it was a boring game. I loved the game because it was very much against the Chiefs. So I enjoyed it. It was very boring. It was just a very lopsided game. So whatever. Go Eagles. I thought it was great. I hate the Chiefs, so that was fine. My favorite commercial. Did you have a favorite commercial? Did you pay any attention to the commercials at all?
I saw a few of them, but I liked the one with Snoop and Tom Brady.
Okay. Well, I kind of had mixed feelings about that.
Did you?
Yeah. Simply because of Snoop performing at that Trump event. So I know. But I did like the whole messaging of it. I did. Okay,
yeah.
So whatever. I like the Coffee Mate commercial because it was the weirdest commercial with the tongue. Did you see it?
I haven't seen that one. I have to go back and watch it.
Oh, yeah. So it's like,
tell me more about the tongue, Nikki.
Let me see if I can bring it up. It was like the weirdest commercial ever. And let's see if I'll probably get hit with a thing on it. So whatever. Hold on. Here, I'll play it for you. It is the weirdest freaking commercial ever. So if you're watching this on replay, you're probably not going to see it. But it was so freaking weird. All right, here we go.
Let's go, dog.
Ew.
Taste it cool. Have you ever seen a tongue do this? Give me coke, give me coke. Everybody now. Give me coke, give me coke.
I just thought I was like, what the hell is this? I just thought it was really, really funny. So I thought it was, I don't know, that was my favorite commercial.
Karen said, I didn't know Snoop and Brady were both MAGAs. Are they? I don't think Snoop's MAGA. Snoop's like, I'm taking myself out of politics and we're all Americans. And he's just not taking a side. Yeah. I think if Snoop was forced to take a side, it wouldn't be MAGA. Maybe it would be. I don't know.
No, Snoop but was I think very
Tom Brady's very much MAGA.
Is he? I didn't know Tom Brady's politics. I know Snoop was very much against Donald Trump at first, and then he did that event, and everyone was like, whatever. This is what I'm going to say. I liked the messaging of the ad. I'll just say that. I liked the message of the ad. I found it a little like hypocritical, given what Snoop has said in the past, and then doing the event, but whatever. I liked the halftime show, although I will say this. I understood the protest aspect of it. I missed a lot of the protest kind of points until I went back and people educated me on it.
Right.
I will say this. One, I thought that there were sound issues. I did not think that Kendrick Lamar's mic was loud enough. So much so that I thought he was lip syncing, and everyone was like, oh, he did it live. And I was like, I looked at my daughter and I was like, he's lip syncing because it wasn't loud enough. So that was distracting to me. And then I said to her, I was like, there's going to be so many people complaining about this halftime show. And I was right about that. But I did like the fact of the aftermath of it, the learning and the education of it, which I love. So, and I will also say this. I was texting with one of my best friends. I loved the bell-bottom jeans. She hated them. And she's like, what is up with his jeans? And I'm like, I like them. So I loved the bell-bottoms. And I liked them on him. So
apparently people are searching bell-bottom jeans now and they're sold out.
They're $1,200. I wasn't going to get them. I love flare jeans. They are like very flattering, especially to my like kind of physique. So I love flare jeans. And so I loved them. So yeah, I liked
I
that.
like the part where the States of America flag was made out of black people.
Oh yes, I loved that as well.
So there's a lot of symbolism maybe I
There was
didn't get,
so
or
much.
words maybe I didn't hear or
Right.
catch. But when I saw that, and then I read later, symbolism for America being built on the backs of black people, like all
Mhm.
of that, I thought was pretty powerful. And I didn't know something about Kendrick Lamar.
Hmm.
That is that he won the Pulitzer Prize for music in
Yeah.
2018, which is huge. And he's the first rapper that has ever done that.
And I mean, he's visited the White House with
Mhm.
Barack Obama. I mean, he's has a long history. And so, yeah, I think I think a lot of people learned more about Kendrick Lamar, which is the point of
Yeah.
always, doing the halftime show. And so, I don't know. I thought it was great. I thought it was total BS that Taylor got booed. It just goes to show that
So did he, though.
people are
So did
petty.
Trump. Trump got booed as
Well,
well. And that wasn't put out at the beginning.
I
We
thought
thought,
people
oh,
cheered for him. I saw when he was standing there, when he gave the salute when they were doing the national anthem. I thought people cheered for him. I honestly, I was watching it. I thought people cheered for him. I don't know if he was shown again and people booed, but when I saw him, I heard cheering. I did. I heard cheering. I know that there was this argument about this, that, or the other. I heard
mhm.
cheering, and then I heard booing for Taylor Swift, which I thought was total BS. But that was me. I don't know.
I think Taylor Swift was booed by Eagles fans.
Yeah,
I don't think
absolutely. That's
I don't think she was
absolutely. I thought that was
booed by
total
Chiefs
BS.
fans, and I don't think it was a political thing. I think it was a sports thing.
I think it was
But
totally a sports
whatever.
thing, but whatever. She
Mhm.
sold out that entire stadium all by her lonesome, and
That's
so I
right.
think it's totally, it's stupid. And then Travis Kelce, of course, lost, which was sad, but whatever.
Did you see him
Um,
walking, trudging
I
toward the
know.
sweet, like, the sad sack?
Yeah,
You could
but it's
feel, like,
sad.
I've never seen someone so sad.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, it is, and now we get Super Bowl 60, which I totally forgot about, by the way. And so they passed the torch to Santa Clara. We're getting the next Super Bowl, and the World Cup is coming this year. So it's going to be another S show. It's going to be insane, absolutely insane. So I'm kind of excited about it, especially because it's 60, and those round numbers, they always go all out. So we have that coming up.
Mhm.
I would only hope that my Niners will be playing at home in the Super Bowl, but we shall see. We shall see. We shall see. Fingers crossed, but whatever. It's going to be fun times. And so I'm really excited. All right. The last story I want to do has to do with tomorrow, and that has to do with Valentine's Day.
Aw, happy Valentine's Day,
Happy
Nixter.
early Valentine's Day. Does your husband ask you to be his Valentine?
No.
Well,
Jacob asked 2 different girls at school to be his Valentine, and I said, "No. No. You ask 1 girl to be your Valentine."
I
Because
love
now what
you.
happens if one girl finds out that you're the other girl's
What a
Valentine?
player.
That's
What a
a
player.
total player. He's like, you can't do that?" He's like,
No,
"They're both
you can't do
friends."
that.
Like, "No, you can't do that. 1 Valentine per customer."
Why did he ask 2? He likes 2 girls?
Yeah, he asked 1 as a friend, as a joke around, and so they're
Oh, their
friendentines.
friend Valentines?
Yeah, and then the other girl, I
Oh.
think he said she has the prettiest blue eyes. So,
So that's the one he likes.
yeah,
That's his real Valentine.
yeah, yeah, it's
So
his real
is he gonna
Valentine.
bring Valentines to them
So,
tomorrow?
we're still in elementary school, so we're still in the everyone brings it, but there's no name on it,
Oh,
but
okay.
he bought special little stuffed animals for his double Valentines.
Oh, I love that.
I expect nothing. You know what I got? A pina colada on my Nikki Maduro show day, so that's what I like.
Well,
I'll take that.
David is listening, so there you go.
He's they're at
My
karate
husband
now.
usually, spoils me on Valentine's Day. He's
Oh, that's
listening now.
nice.
So we might be going out. Is tomorrow Valentine's Day to rest? I didn't know that. Yes, it is. Yeah, and it's one of those holidays that, like, I show love to my husband. My husband shows me love every day. He doesn't ask me to be his Valentine, which is very funny because some women are like, when is my husband going to ask me to be his Valentine? And I'm like, the day he asked you to be his friggin' wife. Like, do you have to be asked to be a
Mm-mm.
Valentine anymore? That's a weird thing to request, but I think it's sweet if you are asked. Okay, whatever. But there's something interesting happening this year, and I want your take on it. We're Bay Area people. If you do not live in
Mhm.
the Bay, you may not understand whether or not this is a weird thing or not. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry, Karen. I wish my husband would spoil me on Valentine's Day. He doesn't even plan anything. No imagination. No flowers, no candy, no card. Nothing. Not even an extra long kiss. That's what the ring is about, Tammy says. Yeah, I mean, you don't have to ask me to be your Valentine. I'm your forever Valentine. Oh,
What did he say?
not getting shit. I get all kinds of stuff. He's lying. He lying.
Ooh.
He's lying. Okay, so our public transportation system in San Francisco is called BART, Bay Area Rapid Transit. Okay, and they have been having a hard time, especially since COVID, to bounce back. Okay,
Yeah.
okay, and not only have they had since COVID, they've had bad headlines because of crime and homeless people being on the trains and stuff like that. Okay, so for Valentine's Day, they're going to be doing something special. And they're going to be hosting a speed dating event. Okay. And it's called the Love Train. They're going to be doing this. And they have 200
Love
slots.
train. Love
Okay.
train.
On the evening of Valentine's Day.
That sounds fun.
Adults age 18 to 35 will board a BART train that will have extra security. Okay. For a speed dating event. And I guess they're going to be playing like, I don't know, icebreaker activities, conversation starters, Valentine's Day type things. It's going to be like from 6:45 to 8:35, so a couple hours, I guess, for like some sort of speed dating thing. I mean, they had 200 slots that I guess sold out very quickly.
Right.
What do you think about that? I feel like, I mean, it's a certain age bracket, so it's not like it's going to have very old or very young, 18 to 35, whatever. I don't know. It just seems can be really awkward.
I love
And you're
it.
stuck on a train for 2 hours with these people. You know what I mean?
Nothing speedy about Bart, says Harry. If I were single, I would say this.
Okay.
I was single. I don't like a lot of time wasting, and my attention span is short.
Right.
So bring me the speed dating where I can figure out quickly if you're a yes or a no. If you're a thumbs up or a thumbs down. I know within a few minutes of talking to you.
What would be okay, if we were speed dating, what would be like something that would tell you right away whether it was like a yes or a no? Like we're talking and like I'm like, hi, I'm Nikki, or Nick. I'm Nick, and I work in the tech industry and I like to eat Italian food. And like, what would it be that you were like, no, we're done?
Well, I think I would develop a series of questions to ferret out whether someone is
Give me some
selfish or
questions.
not.
Give me
Like
give me some
how
questions.
I haven't developed them yet because this is not new. This is sprung on me here at the last minute. But something about like tipping culture. Like,
Yes,
do you
that'd be a
take
good
care of
idea.
people?
Oh, so you
You
put
know,
people in scenario questions like,
kind of. I might kind of slip a little political in there
no,
in a
ew,
roundabout way.
gross. You
In a
can't. So
roundabout
you would
way.
ask, did you vote for Trump?
No, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that. But I would say something that would let me know how you felt about people of color. Like something about you know,
How would
what
you do that?
about migrants or something. Like I would find a way to like, because one question and I know this is a racist
Something
mofo.
about
I want
how would
nothing to
you
do with
slip
that.
in a question about migrants? How
I
the
would come
fuck
up,
would you do
if
that?
given enough time, I would come up with something very
It's
creative.
speed dating, Kim. It's speed dating.
Speed dating.
If
I'll
you
make
were
you a
walking
deal.
along the border and you saw someone brown, would you call ICE? Tell me. Tell me the truth.
No, but I have come up with, you know what? I will come up with a series of questions and I will ask them to you next week. We'll see if you pass my dating quiz.
That would be so freaking funny. I swear to God. Oh, Heather's
love
writing
this.
about Valentine's. Steve leaves me little love notes in random places all year round. Oh, there's one
So
posted
sweet.
in the fridge right now. The best was the one he left under the toilet lid, though. Oh, that's really
That's really
sweet.
cute.
That is really, really sweet.
I love Sue Ann. She said my dad bought a big box of hearts day after Valentine's Day. So we grew up getting giant heart boxes every year and he ate all the rejects.
Oh, I love that.
This is what counts, Deidre. My husband doesn't have a romantic bone in his body, but he took care of me when I was sick this week. Right.
Hey, that's what matters. You know what I
That's it.
mean? I remember one year when I was little, I got my dad. I must have been like a teenager, but I borrowed money from my mom. I got my dad a whole bouquet of red roses. because it bothered me that men never got red roses for Valentine's Day.
Right.
I was like, men should get red roses sometimes. And so I made my mom buy him red roses. I was like, guys should get it too. Yeah. Showing up with a MAGA hat. I'd be like, don't even sit. I'm like, don't even sit down. We're done. We're done.
Teacher Lori says she'd just be very direct about it. I don't think I would be as direct. I think because you don't want to have a fight with the person at the table. I think I would come up with ways to kind of figure it out. I don't know.
mean, I don't know if I would want to like open with that, because I think that in and of itself says something about you. Like, am I someone that on a speed dating situation wants to talk about politics? Because that's also kind of a deal breaker for me. Like, I want to have fun, you know? Like, at the same time, I don't want someone that's going to ruin a good time with a serious conversation, you know? Like,
Jennifer,
can we just have fun?
Is Cesar Chavez a hero or a villain in your book?
That's a good question.
That's a great question.
That's
See,
a great
give
question.
it a little bit of time. You can kind of finesse it. I love that, Jennifer.
Ooh, that's a good question. Like that's a homework assignment for everybody. Like, how do you ask questions in a way that is not so direct to get it where you're trying to be like,
exactly.
You know,
see? It can be done.
It can be done. That was very good, Jennifer.
Time when you have like, I don't know how long they give you, 3 minutes, 5 minutes before you're moving on to the next person. Because it can't all be about, I mean, it is somewhat about chemistry and the way the person appears and whether or not you just kind of have a good vibe about them. But the minute they open their mouth, you know, this is 3 minutes worth of how much information can I get from you? And my interview skills, I think this comes into play hardcore.
Yeah. I just feel like with so much of the day and the year and social media being about politics, I would want someone to make me feel good just about life on a date. What did you think of the book about Grapes of Wrath? Yeah. I mean, there's so many books. Like, what do you read? That would be a great question. Do you read? What do you read? Who's your favorite author? You know what I mean? What's the last book you read? What channel do you watch for the news?
Would you date a guy who couldn't change a tire?
Oh God. My husband is so handy. I don't think so.
Right? Yeah.
I don't think I could date I don't think I could date a guy that wasn't handy. I mean, I don't think even going back all the way to high school, I don't think I've ever dated somebody that wasn't handy.
I think it's about, you know how they say I'm going to cry. You know, they say we pick guys that are like our dads.
Oh, baby.
I know.
Yeah, I know.
Well, I think I did. And my dad was always trying to like take care of my car and make sure I didn't break down anywhere. And he taught me how to change a tire myself. And he taught me how to check the oil in my car. And he never wanted me to be stranded or unsafe. And so I would find probably that to me is the idea of maybe masculinity. It's wrapped up in my weird girl brain about being, not that I need a man to take care of me, but if I'm going to end up with a man, then I'm going to kind of want him to be of that ilk. Yeah. So, yeah,
exactly. I mean, which is really funny that you say that. Not that my dad and my husband don't have some qualities, I guess, alike. My dad is not handy whatsoever. Like, at all. If he could pay you to hammer a nail, he will.
Totally.
But like, just a good guy. I mean, my dad's 100%. A good guy. Exactly. But yeah, I mean, I think that what you're saying is so right. Like, you just look for people. And I think on speed dating, you would have to look for people like that. Tammy says, I used to hide tools from my husband, not my dad at all. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you just look for certain qualities, I guess. I don't know.
You guys are awesome. This is great.
You're all hilarious. Yeah. I don't know. I just feel like it's funny that Bart is trying a new way of getting people on the train. I just hope it works out. I hope nothing bad happens. Like, please. I mean, nothing bad happens.
Harry says, if women don't find you handsome, they better find you handy.
Absolutely. And the right kind of handy. You know what I mean?
Eric says, I can't change the tire, but I have cash to tip the tow truck driver. There you go.
And nowadays, I mean, I could change a tire, but I don't even know if certain things on newer cars I can even do anymore. Sometimes I pop a hood on a car and I'm like, it's more computer than car in some instances. Deidre says, I had a self-defense class for women and we had to take off a tire, roll it around the car, and put it back on by ourselves. A college course,
Nice.
very smart to do, but
I
nowadays
turned
though.
21 and I went to Tahoe with a bunch of ladies that I'd worked with.
Mhm.
And I was the youngest one of the group. Most of them were in their 30s and 40s. And we had a flat tire out
Oh.
in the driveway of the Tahoe house. And I was the only one, thanks to my dad, who knew how to change the tire. And they all looked at me like, "You know how to change a tire?"
Yes.
Yeah. My dad said I couldn't get a driver's license unless I learned how to change a tire
Well,
myself.
and it's not actually that. Honestly, if you open up the glove compartment, there's an actual book that will tell you how to do it. It's not actually very hard if you use common sense.
Yeah.
It's really not. It's just some girls just don't bother. But
I love
Lauren
Louise.
Bobo is not bad looking, but if you don't know the difference between a wonton and a wanton, you're very, very true.
Oh, that's good, Louise.
That is
That's
very,
really
very,
good.
very good. That is very
Yeah.
good. Well, I don't know. Well, we might go out with some friends on Valentine's Day. Valentine's Day has too much pressure on it for the single people, though. I will tell you
Totally.
that. Way too much pressure for the single people. So if you're single, go have a Galentine's or a Mantines, or just go out and look for some loving. I don't know. It's a made up holiday anyway. It's absolutely made up. So just try to stay dry though. Well, I guess the rain is supposed to stop, and maybe go to the snow. Apparently, all the snow is falling in the Sierra, so you can
Boy,
stay.
you and everybody else. Woo.
Oh God, it's going to be busy up there this weekend, though, right? It's a long
Really
weekend for
busy.
everybody.
It's gonna be
Ski week.
horrible traffic.
Everyone's going to be up in the snow, so maybe
You
just
have to
stay
leave
home.
tonight. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. So yeah, maybe don't do that. Maybe just stay home and stay off the roads and do something. Ricky's off for barbecue in the snow downstairs. There you go. Absolutely. All right. Well, that is our show. I want to say some thank you to people that donated. Harry, thank you so much for the $5 donation. And yes, did I finish? Almost finished my hot toddy. I've had this cough. I'm hoping,
I still
absolutely
have
hoping to get over
3/4
it.
of my drink left.
Oh my God. Did he make it strong for you today? He did
It's
not
not
make it that
strong,
strong
there's
for you
just a
today.
lot of it. Yeah.
I love that David. can make
So you're
good.
still sick? You poor thing. Are you okay?
Well, I'm getting over it. I'm hoping. I'm just taking my Theraflu. I'm just taking it. I don't have a fever though, so I didn't. Thank you, Louise, for the $5 donation as well. Actually, you came in a couple times with the donations.
Yeah.
Another $5 donation as well. You guys, we always appreciate you guys being here every Thursday. Tell your friends as well. Share the show. We love having new people, no matter where they are, here, anywhere in the United States, anywhere in the world. So share the show, the Nikki Maduro Show, with us.
Oh, look at that. Kevin's slapping $4
Kevin, love
down.
seeing your name. Thank you for the $4
Thanks, Kevin.
donation. We love you guys so very much. And again, if you want to donate through our Patreon, we're always accepting donations. You can find all the links in the show notes. TheNikkiMaduroShow.com is another place as well. Super chats, super stickers are always up. And PayPal is the #1 way to donate. The Nikki Maduro Show. Just look for it there. Our show symbol is up there, and that's how you know that you have the right one. And Auntie Tabby's Island Flavors is another delicious way to support the show. Just go to auntietabbies.com and use the coupon code NickKim for 10% off every time you order, and you get that delicious guava barbecue sauce that is good on everything. Again, auntietabbies.com. Use the coupon code NickKim for 10% off. All right, you guys, stay healthy and safe. Yes, what?
We have one more.
Ooh, Nikki and Kim, be my virtual platonic Valentines.
Yes.
We accept. And thank you for asking.
We love you, Louise.
We love you, Louise. Thank you so very much. I love being asked. See, it is nice to be asked. Isn't it so nice to be asked?
Yeah.
I was asked, honey. All right. We love you guys. Happy Valentine's Day. We'll see you on next Thursday. Mwah. Bye.
Nikki, you're all so awesome. Miss Brown, like a beautiful blossom. You're also the best. I really can't rest. You're all so awesome.
Wow. Okay.